Good afternoon. Disappointed with the outcome yesterday. After watching the video, really impressed with the effort that our guys put forth. I mean, they fought their tails off, and they gave us a chance to compete and ultimately to win the football game. Having said that, there's no moral victories with our mentality and our mindset. We play and compete to win, and we will engage a process that will allow us to do that the next time we step out on the football field, starting with our meetings on Wednesday. Our guys, the players remain resolved. They remain determined to put themselves in position to execute, to do the things that we have to do. I'm encouraged by their attitude and their perspective, and excited to get back to work on Wednesday. The next time we see the players, I'll take your questions.
Eric, last three losses, explosive plays over the top have been what Ron has pointed to immediately post-game. They've been what has kind of led to some momentum swings, some flipping of the field, some touchdowns. Where is the fix at this point after 3 games of these types of mistakes?
Yeah, our rush and coverage just have to complement one another. We have to do it anytime the quarterback drops back to pass, whether it's a third down situation, 2-minute, what have you. Those things have to work together. It's an 11-man operation. It's not one person. It's not one person up front. It's all 11 guys doing what they're supposed to do on that play so that we can have the outcome that we need.
Eric, what is your level of concern over the lack of takeaways of late, and what can you do to try to create more?
Joe, takeaways are extremely important to us as a defense. I mean, anytime we can take the football away, it gives our offense extra possessions, and we've done that this year on a number of occasions. The last couple of weeks we have not done that. So you go back and you make sure that we engage the things in practice that bring that to the table, and we look for opportunities to get our hands on the football. And that means our pass rush, obviously, when we're getting back and we're pressuring the quarterback, when the ball is in the air, and then occasions like yesterday, we got the ball out twice. We just weren't able to come up with it. Shaq Thompson did an outstanding job setting the edge and then in pursuit, redirecting himself in pursuit to get the football out. And so we just go back. We make sure that we're working on the things that we have all season, and you put yourself in position, and those things tend to happen for you.
Did losing Dante in the first play affect what you could do defensively?
It didn't. I mean, the next man is expected to step up and to execute the exact same way that the person that goes out there first. It was unfortunate to lose Dante, and then we'll be anxious to get him back, but we have a lot of confidence in Corn and Captain out at the corner position, and we expect him to execute with the exact same detail that the starter would.
Joyce mentioned.
I imagine your first priority, like it usually is stopping the run. Seattle's top-ranked run game. You guys did a solid job containing that. To make it any more frustrating or disappointing that you were able to get that aspect of the game done and created quite a few third and long situations, which is obviously what you want to be in as a defense?
Well, it's disappointing when you don't win, and so. I kind of addressed that with my open remarks. At some point, though, you have to move forward. You have to move on to exactly what you intend to do to put yourself in a position to stop the run and to do the things from an efficiency standpoint that will allow you to get off the football field or to win and close the game out. Seattle had done a nice job all season running the football. Our guys were determined. They did an excellent job in practice, preparing, and they carried that over to the game field. We've just got to make sure whatever they're doing, we're putting ourselves in a position to stop that. If they're throwing the ball, we got to stop it and defend it. If they're running the ball, we have to do that also.
When you take into consideration injuries earlier in the year, corresponding moves, those types of things, is this the best possible depth in the secondary that Carolina can have right now?
I'm not sure I understand.
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. There was injuries earlier in the year, obviously, that changed the things that you guys are able to do to find depth at the cornerback position. You're also playing the number 2 corner a little bit smaller to counter smaller, faster receivers, especially in the NFC South. But looking across the board at the different injuries that have happened and the depth that you have now, is this best case scenario?
Well, the guys that dress and that line up, that practice, we feel great about. And that won't waver or change based on the circumstances. Attrition is a normal and natural occurrence in the NFL. Guys are available or they're not available for a variety of reasons. And so when you are preparing a defense, when you're preparing a position group, you're preparing the third guy as if he's a starter. We coach everybody the same way. And so whoever we have available to us, we feel tremendous about their ability to help us do what we need to do.
Eric, you tried a couple things that looked like yesterday to generate more pressure up front. Saw you had your guys in stand-up positions in several opportunities and a little bit more blitzing. How did you think those tactics worked out?
Well, I thought early in the game, I thought we had pretty good hits and disruptions on the quarterback, even outside of the occasions where we got the guy on the ground, where we got Russell Wilson on the ground, which is a tough task. So from that standpoint, I thought it was better. We can still do a better job. And like I mentioned earlier, anytime you have explosive passes, you have to look at what the rush is doing or not doing, and then you tie those things together with our coverage and the coverage technique.
What went into your decision to try the stand-up across the front?
Well, we make decisions about how we can best utilize the players and the personnel that we have. And every week our game plan is a little bit of a fluid situation. We make decisions based on what we think is best, Joe, and we have tweaks and things that just like an offense will. We'll see things from them that are unscouted that they'll throw out against us, and we have to react to it.
I guess what I mean is, did you see that another team using that? I mean, I guess I've seen it a lot at the college game too.
No, we didn't make a decision based on what we had seen. Every week we come in and try and make determinations about what we think would give us the best opportunity to be successful in any situation, Joe.
What's the benefit of that look? What is it? Kind of a little bit more movement, or what is?
Well, I won't get into the mindset behind why we decided to utilize what we did yesterday, and the technique and all of those things for obvious reasons. You know, like I mentioned, we whether we are in a 2-point stance or a 3-point stance, at the end of the day, we're executing the calls that we have in our system, and you know, pre-snap movement for us is not anything that's new. You know, we will frequently move around the movement pre-snap. There's a disguise factor. You don't want to give a quarterback a true and clear picture. And so we've done that throughout, and we utilized a little bit of that up front yesterday. Same principle, though.
Eric, from a D-line perspective against somebody like Russell, was part of the rush philosophy to try to keep him contained in the pocket, or was it treating him like he's any other quarterback and trying to get after him like you would?
Well, a quarterback, they're all a little bit different. Russell Wilson can execute, you know, from the pocket, and he can really break down your coverage if he's in a position where he can extend the play. And so when you have a quarterback that has that skill set, and we've seen that off and on throughout the entire season, we'll see that going forward. You want to try and keep them in the pocket. That forces them to throw from a well, and it limits or eliminates the opportunity for them to extend the play, which really stresses the coverage concept.
How much of the critical mistakes that Ron mentioned you attribute to trying to blend in some of the young players with the veterans out there?
Well, I see that as a minimal factor, if at all. I mean, from a preparation standpoint, the amount of time that we've had with the guys, the amount of time that we invest and that the players invest in their own preparation, we expect our players to go out and to execute, you know, and we'll continue to do that. We won't look for reasons or excuses or anything of that nature. When we establish a game plan, we continue to drill it, to work on it, and we have to go out. And everything starts with me. If there's a disconnect, if there's something that's not getting done, I have to take a look at myself, and I obviously will. But at the end of the day, we all have to do our jobs.
I'm curious, as a defensive coordinator, on the other side of the ball, what Christian did yesterday with over 100 rushing and receiving, what about him have you seen change or mature to allow him to do that maybe not in the past?
You mean Christian? I just heard the roar of the crowd. I'm really not in the position to evaluate what Christian's doing. I'm just excited about the production we're getting from him, David. He's doing a fantastic job, and he works his tail off in practice. Conscientious guy. He's protecting the football. I'm glad he's on our team.
Do you think or do you anticipate maybe getting Cersei back at any point?
I hope so. I mean, that's for our medical staff and Marty and Ron to figure out. But, you know, hopefully he's in a position where he can come back and help us.
What's your level of concern over Dante's quad injury? I saw him. He clearly was trying to see if he could come back. He was on the bike a little bit through the rest of the first half.
Yeah, I have not received an update medically on Dante, so I really can't speak to where he is in terms of the severity of that injury. Hopefully he's back sooner than later.
Now, what's your level of concern over Dante possibly not being available next week, knowing just how much the Bucs like to put it in the air?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, the people that we have available to us, you know, we will go out and we will compete. We will approach the game with the same attitude and the same resolve. Players are available and not available for a variety of reasons. You have to have that kind of mentality as a coaching staff and as a defense and as an individual player. You know, when the next person has to step in and do the absolute best job he can, and we feel good about whoever will be out there if Dante's not available.
But did you feel that when he did come out, Russell Wilson saw, you know, a young, less experienced guy come in and kind of keyed in on that side a little bit more?
Well, I can't speak for honestly what they saw. As a play caller and just consulting with our coaching staff and Ron, you know, our focus was just making the calls, executing the game plan, being situationally aware, and doing what we had to do from one play to the next to create negative plays, to get off the field or what have you. So I really can't speak to what they saw, how they perceived whoever was in the football game, honestly, Jordan. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.